Radio Now 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Metheny.
Hello, I'm Emily Metheny, your host. With everything happening with COVID-19, organizations are stepping up in a variety of ways in the capacities that they can. This week, I had the opportunity to speak with Ann Murtlow, President and CEO of United Way of Central Indiana, about a relief fund that is helping Indianapolis and its surrounding counties. I was also able to talk with Judy Palermo, Senior Manager of Public Relations of the Indianapolis Zoo, about how the zoo is continuing its mission to educate the public when the public can't visit the physical location. Before I tell you more about how the zoo is coming to you, Ann explains how United Way is helping organizations help people. Ann, would you be able to tell me a little bit about what United Way of Central Indiana does?
Sure. So United Way of Central Indiana fights for the education, basic needs, financial stability, and health of every person in our community. We really want to make sure that the quality of life of every resident in our community is something that we are proud of, and we are fighting for that every day. We know we have a long way to go. So that's something that we do on a regular basis. We really do that by focusing on three areas during regular times, which is investment in basic needs infrastructure, in family opportunity, and in social innovation.
Excellent. And with what's currently happening around the world right now with COVID-19, the United Way of Central Indiana is doing some really fantastic work with the Central Indiana COVID-19 Community Economic Relief Fund.
That's correct. So we're going to call that CSERF for short because
Perfect.
We don't have time to say the big long name too many times during this interview. So CSERF is a collaboration between 6 founding funders that includes United Way, but also includes the Lilly Endowment, Eli Lilly and Company Foundation, Nina Mason Pulliam Charitable Trust, Central Indiana Community Foundation through the Glick Fund and the Indianapolis Foundation, the Richard M. Fairbanks Foundation. It is a great collaborative. We came together and we put together seed funding of $17.3 million, and we have opened that fund up to contributions from the public. And that is now has grown to almost $18 million through those contributions, and it's growing every day. And those founding funders come together and think about what the most pressing needs are in this very unique crisis. So, as you know, we've never been through this before. Mm-hmm. And so all of us are trying to figure out, number one, what are the unique needs of our community in the face of, number one, the health crisis, and number two, the emerging economic crisis that is resulting from the health crisis. So we know, for example, that the way that services are being delivered, health services, grocery services, restaurant services, all these kinds of services are being delivered in the face of social distancing requirements is very different than it used to be. The same thing is true for human services. For example, when you are sheltering the homeless, you are having to do it in a different way in the face of such a contagious virus, right? In order to keep people safe, you have to do different things. When you are used to providing food in a way that brings people together instead of distances them, you have to find a new way of doing that. For example, hospitals, instead of testing people inside of clinics, are now doing drive-through testing. Similarly, food service organizations like Gleaner's Food Bank are finding ways to do drive-through food service. IPS schools are doing the same thing, drive-through food pickup. Churches are doing the same thing. So it has really turned human services organizations and their service delivery model upside down. So it really has been a challenge for everybody who's operating, whether you're a business or whether you're a faith organization or whether you're a human service organization, upside down, at a time when demand for services is really increasing. So the first thing we needed to do was really understand what these emerging needs were, and then we needed to understand what were the most critical things to get money out to support. And so this group of funders came together. We spent a couple of weeks really thinking about what those things were and scouring the environment to figure out what those things were before we made the first round of grants. And our goal was to really get those grants out the door quickly. Mm-hmm. And so today we announced that we would make about $7.3 million worth of grants to 46 organizations that were really focused in 6 areas. The first is childcare for healthcare workers and first responders, which is a critical need. We're finding more and more that to deal with the health crisis, we really need our hospital workers and healthcare workers, our doctors and nurses, as well as our emergency workers, to make sure that they have a place for their kids, because we need them to be on the front lines of keeping us all safe and healthy. The second is food access for those who are struggling to make ends meet. We have to keep people surviving through this crisis. Third, I talked about before, being able to safely shelter the homeless and people like domestic violence victims. Fourth is strengthening access to resources for vulnerable populations and populations that tend to be isolated in crises like this. Seniors, for example. Seniors are particularly vulnerable in this crisis. You can't have senior organizations bringing seniors into areas where they used to be together to receive services. So many seniors are being serviced through outreach services now because they have to be isolated. Immigrants, for example, tend to get very isolated in circumstances like this. Disaster planning and infrastructure support. I can give you some examples of that. We are hearing from both hospitals and from organizations like the American Red Cross that blood supply is very low. That's of great concern right now. The way that blood drives are typically done often bring people together in close quarters. So getting blood drives done and getting people to donate blood has to be done a little bit differently. We also have to get the word out that to really dispel myths about giving blood. For example, we've heard rumors that people think that giving blood somehow suppresses your immune system, which we're told is not true. So we need people to understand that giving blood during this period is really, really important. Infrastructure support. So there are organizations like 211, which is 911 for human services, that are critical to connecting people in need to resources and making sure that there are enough call takers and enough resources for organizations like that to be able to take the volume of calls that are coming in. We know that we are seeing more and more people lose their jobs as time goes on here, and so making sure that we have enough resources for those kinds of calls for help to be answered. And then funding for multi-service centers that provide basic needs in times like this, both on a short-term basis, but that can also be prepared to serve the longer-term economic effects of this economic crisis in neighborhoods around central Indiana. So those are the 6 areas of sort of near-term intense need that we looked to fund first.
That's a lot to cover. That's all happening right now. That's amazing.
And it all happened in a week and a half.
And so with all of these areas, how can someone reach out to start applying for those grants?
Okay, so there is not an application process at this time. As we look into round 2 of funding, what the funding group will do is we will start to reach out to a wider net of providers, and community leaders will continue to meet as we learn more about what we're seeing, we will create a process by which we will reach out and take applications based on what we are learning about those emerging needs. So within a week or two, we will be able to give folks more information about how that process will go, and we will have more information about the timing that organizations can expect for future grants.
Okay, excellent. What's the best way for someone to stay up to date with what is happening with CSURF?
You can go to our website, and our website is uwci.org. There is also an email that you can reach out to, and I thought I had it in my notes here, but I'm not finding it right this second. Here it is. You can send a message to COVID-19 CERF at uwci.org if you have a question.
And let's say I'm a healthcare worker who is looking for the childcare. Where would I reach out to that email as well, or what would I do?
You'd call 211.
Call 211, and they'll help me get where I need to go.
Actually, if you're a healthcare worker working for a hospital, what's going to happen there is that the healthcare systems are going to be advertising those opportunities internally through their own networks.
Okay.
So they're working with the child care providers directly, and so they will be working with their own employees on those.
Excellent. Okay. And then, what counties and what areas does this serve?
This covers Boone, Hancock, Hamilton, Hendricks, Marion, and Morgan counties.
Excellent. So with anyone within the Marion and then our donut, they can reach out to 211 to check on these resources that are becoming available.
What we did was we gave resources to organizations that serve in those counties. So it is up to the organizations that we gave these unrestricted grants to figure out how to use those grants. So there isn't any money that is going directly to individuals from this fund.
Okay.
It is going to those organizations. So you can't call 211 and get money directly from the fund.
But I could call 211 and they could help me find the resource who received the money. Let's say if I'm looking for food or safety shelter.
Yes, they can direct you to organizations that do that service.
Perfect.
Provide that service.
And then, if someone is in the position to give to this fund, how can they do that? And is there any requirements to do so?
No, there is. All you need to do is you can go to uwci.org. It is right on our landing page. So all you have to do is donate. You can do it right there. And no amount is too small. So we're getting everything from very large donations from members of the public to donations of $1. And we have a lot of people in our community, and those donations add up, and they make a huge difference. So we'd like to have anybody who feels like they can help in this fight for our neighbors. The 6 founding funders are really proud to have started this fund, but we really need everybody in this, standing up for our neighbors and making this a successful effort.
Is there anything else you'd like to add about CSURF, or are there any other initiatives that United Way is focusing on during this time?
I just want to remind everybody that this is a collective effort, and that CSURF was really modeled after a successful relief fund that was put in place in 2008 during that big economic downturn. And so, it's designed to be something that's in place not just to deal with immediate consequences of this event, but also to be in place to deal with sort of the lagging effects of the the virus, so some of the economic effects of the virus. So we hope to be around for a while dealing with these impacts. I would also say, just on behalf of United Way, that we're very pleased that we were able to step in and play an administrative role in this fund, and we were only able to do that because of the wonderful support that we get on an ongoing basis from the members of this community. So we really appreciate that.
Excellent. And just to kind of recap, if you are looking for services, call 211, and then 211 can help connect you with what you need.
Correct.
Excellent. And thank you so much for taking time to talk with me today.
Sure thing. You take care.
You too.
Stay healthy.
With the stay-at-home order issued by Governor Holcomb, you might be looking for a way to keep your kids or yourself entertained and maybe learn something along the way. The Indianapolis Zoo is #bringing the zoo to you through social media. Judy Palermo tells us how the zoo is making that possible.
Judy, can you tell me a little bit about the Indy Zoo?
It's a really unique zoo because it is so close to downtown, so conventions or people who are living downtown can walk right across the bridge and come over to the zoo. We also offer all kinds of unique experiences where you can get up really close to an animal and make a connection and have an emotional response. And it's just a lot of unique opportunities, like even with the Simon Scott International Orangutan Center. You could stay in there the whole day and just be amazed at how smart the orangutans are and just see how they think through things. And in our research center, how they're working on touch screens and learning letters and numbers and symbols. So it's a really unique zoo. It's a wonderful place to go and feel like you're in all different parts of the world, as we're broken up into the elephants in plains and the gibbons in forests or the macaws flying over your head. So it really is just kind of a magical visit.
And with everything that's been happening in the world recently with the coronavirus, the zoo, like a lot of businesses, aren't having guests come in, correct?
Yes, we are closed to the public.
And even though you're closed, the animals are still getting top-tier care.
Yes, they're getting all the normal care they receive. Our collections team, we've always had safety protocols in place to ensure our safety between the keepers and the animals. We've always had the hand washing and masks and gloves, especially with primates. So we're taking in all the safety protocols, but we have a lot of essential team members who are there every day taking care of all of our animals, and they're getting everything they need.
Excellent. So because the guests can't come to the physical location, you guys are doing a lot online, including bringing the zoo to you. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, well, we knew that we have such devoted followers and our guests and our donors and our members, and we thought, what can we do to bring the zoo to you? And so there was like a perfect hashtag, bringing the zoo to you. So we thought about, well, how can we show everyone what some of our animals are doing and what our staff is doing? So we've really broken it up to a bunch of different areas as far as what membership is doing, what education is doing, and then also what the PR team is doing. We're just bringing a little piece of the zoo every day on social media back to all of our friends at home. And we've gotten a really great response because it ends up being some of the things that people have never even seen before. You know, on today we put on Twitter, the lemurs swimming in kind of a little pool behind the scenes, and they're diving for raisins. So it's just one of those things you don't normally see when they're out in public view. Yesterday I recorded a video with the penguins. So I went behind the scenes with penguins in their habitat while a keeper was talking about them and feeding them. And so it's a really neat experience where you're actually feeling like you're at the zoo, and you might get to see the sea lions practicing. They were practicing coming out, walking towards the Bicentennial Pavilion, and so you don't normally see them out like that. So we have that video coming up soon too. So you can learn about their what they face in the wild as far as extinction. You can learn about what our keepers do to take care of them every day, what they eat, what their personalities are like. So it was a real fun way to bring it home. And another thing that we're doing is that our membership team, they amaze me. They put together a thing called school, and it's S''cool. And so every day they're sending an email out with animal facts. They'll feature an animal. They have pictures and fun games that you can play with your kids. So if moms and dads are looking for something to do with their kids, here's some new ideas. And then they're urging everyone to create videos and photos and post them on social media with the hashtag bringing the zoo to you. And then there's going to be prizes with that too. So that's a super fun thing. And then our education department, they are helping teachers out big time. They're providing all kinds of ideas for the teachers that they already have contact with. And the teachers can use this information online with their students, and they can have all fun activities and worksheets and that kind of thing. So we're trying to have all this synergy through the zoo as far as getting the information out about animal conservation and the animals, but doing it in kind of different ways, through teachers, through parents, through social media.
And if there is a teacher listening who would like to get on that mailing list, what's the best way to do that?
Well, you can just email the zoo or go on to IndianapolisZoo.com. And if you go to the Learn and Explore page, there's all kinds of information there for what they can do. And then there's also at the bottom of that page, there'll be a Contact Us. And you can go in there and send an email, and the email will go directly to the education department. So if they're not on the email list, they can get on that way.
And if someone wants to be on the membership side, how can they become a member?
Well, you can go to the membership page at IndianapolisZoo.com, and you can sign up for the member email and for membership, and then you will get all the information from our membership team. And there's always someone who can answer any question. As we had talked before, we have some people working from home, and they can still have access to get their answers out to people if they have questions or if they need more information.
And being a member of the zoo is also supporting the zoo and its mission, right?
Absolutely. A lot of what we do with all the dollars that come into the zoo, we're the largest zoo in the country that doesn't get any tax support at all. So everything we do is through philanthropy, through sponsorships from our great organizations throughout town, from memberships, from events that we have and fundraising. All that goes back to taking care of our animals. And we also have conservation grants where a lot of that money also goes out into the wild to help the people who are on the front lines of conservation, maybe someone in Tanzania trying to save elephants, or someone in Madagascar trying to save the lemur species. So we really have all the money goes back into taking care of animals.
Excellent. And by joining the membership, on the membership side, you're able to get the extra little bit coming in as well.
Yeah, there's so many benefits to membership that sometimes people don't even realize. Everything is free to a member as far as all the events. So if you look at Zoo Brew or Christmas at the Zoo, or all summer long we have concerts in the evening that are no additional cost. So there are a lot of neat things and events. And just like, now all the parents at home who are members with their kids looking for things to do, they are going to love these e-blasts that are coming, because there are so many fun games on there that it's really going to help families have some fun time together.
Excellent. And then if you're not able to support the zoo that way, you're still able to interact with the zoo by doing the Bring the Zoo to You on social media.
Absolutely. Just watch the videos, enjoy them. If you have a video to post, just use the hashtag bringing the zoo to you. If your little kiddo wants to put on their Halloween costume that's maybe a lion, take a picture and put it out there, and that's going to make someone else happy. So we're just trying to bring the community together with some happiness and some love, and also to show that our animals are okay and that our team is taking care of them.
Excellent. And what social media platforms are you on?
Well, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So we've got all kinds of fun stuff out there for you to see.
And is it just at Indianapolis Zoo?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. At Indy Zoo, you could use that.
Excellent. And then with the webcams around the zoo, are people still able to view that?
Yes. If there's so much on our website, if you just want to learn about all the different animals, you can go on and see everything. But we also have, in some of the pages, we have our live webcam. So if you want to see what the tiger's doing at lunchtime, you can just get on IndianapolisZoo.com, go to Tigers, and you'll see the webcam. And we're also going to move all of our webcams to one page, too, so you can see them that way. So we're working on that today. But we also have walrus webcam, macaw webcam, and penguin webcam. So that's kind of fun. Sometimes the penguin one, because depending on what hemisphere, and time zone, the lights will match that to keep the penguins in sync with that. So it's just a fun way that you can see something live that's happening at the zoo now. So I know at 3 o'clock, we usually feed the penguins. So if you go and look at the penguin webcam at 3, you'll probably see that.
That's excellent. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Judy?
Just, we just feel true to what everybody's saying is that we're all in this together, and we can't wait to come roaring back and have everybody come back because we miss them so much. And we'll just have no doubt that we'll keep trying to put some joy out, and we'll take care of the animals and our staff.
Excellent. And you can follow along on social media at Indy Zoo and follow the hashtag Bringing the Zoo to You. All right. Thank you so much, Judy.
Thank you.
If you are looking for resources, you can call 211 and someone will connect you with organizations and resources in your community. You can also stay up to date by going to RadioNOWindy.com. If you want to reach out or if you have topics you'd like me to cover, you can reach me at Metheny, that's EMETHENY at radio-1.com. Thank you for listening, and please join me again next week. Until then, have a great week.
Radio Now 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Metheny.